Madden Football is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Eagles and the Dolphins, coming up next.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here, as it'll be the AFC champion Miami Dolphins taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. All the talk, all the hype, but the past is prologue as this Super Bowl is underway. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. And they'll begin by running the option. Can see this quite a bit on running plays where the guy's out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course. Give to Walker on the read option. And he'll power his way up near the 25. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9. This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude. And you know, I might normally ask the cliche, what's going through his mind right now? But maybe the better question, CD, what do you think are the pitfalls of being a first-time head coach in this game? Well, you know it's something that he thought about, Brandon, and he had to. And he was thinking about it long before he got to this stage. As the season progressed and he saw that his team was good, if he was smart, he started to make plans right then and there. Reach out to other coaches who've been there before. Find out how they handled winning, losing, handling all the ticket situations, travel, practice, all those things, and then trust your gut, make your best decision, and put it all out there and give your team the best chance to win. That one good for 26 and a first down. If you're a fan of old-school physical football, that play was for you. No doubt about it. That play was for anyone who likes football. He did everything properly on that one. Great contact, wrapped it up, unable to jar the ball free. The only disappointment on the play for him. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Eagles are going to take over here up near the 40. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's got some space here. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get to normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's first and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Bernard, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Eagles are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. Evan McPherson for the extra point. He's got it, and the Eagles lead at 7-zip.
Makes the score Eagles 7, Dolphins nothing.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. From his end zone, here comes Carter.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-six TD.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Now a timeout called for by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside.
From his end zone, here comes Carter. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start with the option.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
That's a gain of 4.
On 3rd and 1, Jackson. Looking, oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Looking for his running back, and he's got it.
And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
Up the middle they go. Bernard. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
45 yards rushing for him now to this point.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down now. Bernard, and tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Now look good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. They swallowed him up. And boy, he is... to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
It's 4th down and less than a yard.
Come on. Hey.
They'll try and run for it. And he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close. Ends up picking up a couple of yards in a situation, as you noted, where he only needed inches.
Here we go.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. They'll run on 1st down. Nixon, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. Now a handoff up the middle. Bernard. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal. This situation in the 4th quarter, you go for it. But here, take the points.
If you go for it here and don't get it, you and I are missing our plane, and we're going to the post-game press conference to hear him justify it. Because the next thing we'll see is the owner walking in, announcing a firing. There is no way he goes for it here. Get the field goal. It's the first half of the game. You've got time to make it up.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. On 2nd and 12, Jackson. He finds some open field here. And Jackson's so tough to stop. He's got a first down, and he gives himself up there at the end.
That's good. Dolphins, first down.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Another catch there for Waddle. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 here. You know, if they can just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
15 more yards. That's another.
Jackson will throw again. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for the offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Well, the best don't mind making tough throws, but that was a real difficult one right there. Out of the pocket, trying to beat double coverage. More times than not, that's going to end up as an incomplete pass, if not worse.
On 2nd and goal, Jackson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Eagles are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Partner, there's no other way you can describe it because that was absolutely just gut-wrenching for that offense. They were right on the precipice. Points were available. All they had to do was just fall forward, and they were going to put them up on the board. Instead, a long drive ends in heartbreak and a melancholy trip back to the drawing board. How you like it when I go a little bit lyrical for you?
Let's go now.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. Bernard. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Here we go. Ready.
They'll throw now on the final play. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up as safety. So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you...
This is caught at the 20. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. So, of course, they declined that there. They knew they had the free play. They got great yardage out of it.
It's kind of like when we were at dinner last night. You saw me reach for the check, so you ordered dessert on top of it, right? You say you had the free play.
Yeah.
Right, all right, how much you needed, go ahead and get a little more on top. I like it.
65 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. That's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching, and there's another first down run right there.
He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Bernard, he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
But a spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the second score there. 3 tight ends up front here, 3rd and goal. Now a give, right side. Bernard, no gain on the play that time. So a big stop, and it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll be out right at the 35. His second catch in the Super Bowl, and it's good enough for a first down.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. So they take a decent shot, CD, and the flag comes out for pass interference.
Yeah, a little DPI, as they like to call it in the business, right? And the farther you get downfield, the more frenetic things get, and the more calm and control you have to remain as a defender. That was a little bit of a slip there, and the penalty will go against him.
And no signal, but I don't think he got the surge behind center. No, he's going to be kept out of the end zone. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Yeah, boy, a good surge defensively. It'll depend on the mark, but I'm not sure he got there. It's a quarterback sneak, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Eagles are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's an old reference there, folks. But, yeah, they've been the better of the two teams by far, and that's great complimentary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores to open up a pretty sizable lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. From his end zone, here comes Carter. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. And my goodness, another interception. And the Eagles are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw a second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go.
19.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Letting one go deep for Roberts. They've got his man complete. Then he will finally be taken down. But how about that play? It's a big one on the final act of the 3rd quarter. And we're back in the Super Bowl. Time to decide who gets to hoist that Lombardi trophy as we begin the 4th and final quarter of action.
Let's go now.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Roberts the man in motion. On 1st down, Nixon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
Now they'll throw here, out of the gun. Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
And the Dolphins are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. But right now, it's clearly the defenses that are stealing the spotlight in the biggest stage of sports. That's only the 4th time ever, Charles, that we have seen teams trade interceptions on back-to-back drives in Super Bowl history.
Something so rare, yet special that we're watching because typically the teams we see playing here on Super Bowl Sunday, They're the ones that know how to limit turnovers. Just goes to show how talented both of these defenses are, that they're still coming through and forcing miscues. Well, Lombardi trophy on the line.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Now it's Jackson rolling to his left. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position.
Here we go.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Roberts the man in motion.
19 right. 18 rattle. 18 rattle.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down.
18, right here.
Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. 37 yards. And the Eagles are starting to pour it on the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And their Super Bowl hopes are dwindling here in the 4th. That AFC crown from 2 weeks ago starting to seem like a distant memory. And this one just has not gone as they had hoped. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there, and it worked out well.
How about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about...
And oh, he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Eagles. The 30. 10. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and an Eagle touchdown. McPherson off for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taking it about the 1. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. The 40.
The Dolphins take over first and 10 at the 17-yard line.
to 17 now. Here's a 1st and 10. Jackson going to throw quickly here, complete. Touchdown! From 17 yards out. And the Dolphins are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Point after try forthcoming. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play.
Dolphins 9.
The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away.
He will return this from deep in the end zone.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. He's at the 40. Past the 20. He will take this all the way. Touchdown, Eagles.
Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad is on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
McPherson set to kick off.
So let's try this again. After the kick return, TD, here's yet another kickoff.
From his end zone, here comes Carter.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. And that one is his 2nd fumble loss. Not a good look out of your return man.
And not only does he hurt the momentum for his team or even change momentum of the game, but now they've got a decision to make on his own sideline. Does he continue to do that? Do you keep him in that role, or do you bring someone else in at this time?
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. On 2nd down, Bernard. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down.
On 3rd down, Bernard. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully...
And now here is another interception.
Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Eagles are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
They'll keep it on the ground. Bernard. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. And the Lombardi Trophy will rest in the city of brotherly love. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl champs. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.